Okay, today we'll do an important topic of microbiology, that is microscopy. So we'll recollect some of the concepts that you studied at your intermediate level, that is in physics, and then we'll discuss about what is a microscope. Why do you need the microscope in microbiology? Basically, the objects, the microorganisms that you are studying in microbiology are not visible with your naked eyes. Generally, they are small in size. As they are small in size, we need to have some aid to see them. Basically, the term microscope is the instrument which is aided, which is useful for observing the microorganisms. The micro, in the sense, the smaller in size. So, as it is a smaller in size, you cannot see. Can you tell me what is your resolution without the specs? What is the resolution? Resolution in the sense, anybody can define what is the resolution? Resolution is ability to distinguish 2 points clearly. If 2 points are given, so these 2 points can be easily differentiated one from another one. This is called as resolution. So a perfect person without any without any aid, 6 by 6 it is called as aid without specs. If a person is that is called as 6 by 6 vision. So that person, in how much distance he will be able to see the objects very clear? Anybody? It is 25 centimeters. It is 25 centimeters that will be clear. So the resolution for a unaided, like without the specs, a perfect person's resolution is 25 centimeters, or you can say 0.25 meters. So here, these objects, these microscopes, you need to see them at smaller size. Generally, the bacteria are. I'll explain you different sizes before going to that microbiology. Before going to the microbiology in detail, we'll see something called as we'll recollect, because if you are having good idea about physics, then microscopy is very easy for you. It is very easy, dead easy. So let's see something about physics. See, the lenses are there. The convex lenses are there, and concave lenses are there. So, what is the difference between convex and concave? I want interactive session, not just a monopoly one. Otherwise, you will be sleeping in the morning. What is convex and where it is used?
Convex is diverging and concave is converging.
Okay. What is diverging? What is converging?
Diverging means the rays will move far away when they contact with the mirror.
See, I
Convex.
have shown a lens in the slide. Are you able to see that picture?
Yes, sir.
All of you.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
point
sir.
is visible, I believe. Okay, ma. So this is concave or convex?
Biconvex.
Yeah. It is a biconvex because both the sides, it is a convex shape is coming. If it is a dome kind of thing, it is coming out simply. That is convex. If it is going inside, so this is a convex mirror lens. Sorry. So there are some properties in the. There are something called as transmission. What is transmission? If something is passing through the lenses, if light is passing through, if it is entering, see the center one, if it is passing and going away from the outside, it is called as transmission. And there is something called as absorption. What is absorption? If the light is passing through, x quantity of light is passing through the lenses, and a part is absorbed if taken away by the lenses, and remaining is coming out, and whatever the quantity of light that is taken up by the lenses, that is called as absorption. Transmission, the one which is going out, and the one which is absorbed inside is called as transmission. Okay, what is reflection? What do you mean by reflection?
When the ray gets reflected while touching the surface.
What is reflection? I am asking. You are talking again reflection.
The ray go
What is
backs again.
reflection?
The ray go backs again.
Yeah, if it is after hitting the lens, if it is taking the back path, or if it is coming back with an angle, whatever maybe. See here in this image, you can see this is a reflection. This is a reflection, and here you can see some of the lenses, they are transmitted out, they are coming out, but they are not going straight line like this, they are being bended. What is this property is called as?
Refraction.
Refraction.
One second. Refraction. It is called as refraction. Why this? What is the property of this refraction? Why this refraction is taking place? If you keep like in a glass, water of glass, if you keep a slide, or if you keep a like a glass rod, then what happens? It bends over there. You will be able to see something like bending. Why that is happening? Already you studied more. All these are just recollecting. I'm not teaching any microbiology here. This is physics part we are discussing.
Due to
Tell me.
refractive index.
How do you decide this refractive index? When the
Change in
ray
the medium, sir. Change in
when
the
the ray,
medium, sir.
I'm not absolutely right. When the rays process, whatever the light rays passes from one medium to other medium, okay, from where the one refractive index, from one refractive index to other refractive index. Otherwise, simply we can say that one medium to other medium. Earlier, it was the medium was glass here, isn't it? From glass, now it is moving to the air. Otherwise, in that case, water. The refractive index of glass is different, and refractive index of air is different, and refractive index of water is different. So, when the rays are passing from one refractive index to other refractive index, they bends over there. That is called as, somebody answered now, that is called as refraction. That is called as refraction. So if we are thorough with our basic knowledge, it is very easy to understand the microscope and other things. If you are not good at your basics, it will be very difficult to understand. Once again, we'll see. See, the lenses are made up of glass material. They are made up of glass material, and some of the, see, the glass is having a capacity of transmission and absorption. The glass, because glass is also having a biomolecules in it, because these biomolecules, silica, silicates, these are silicates, and silicates are having a capacity to transmit through it. If you take iron, iron is having a capacity of absorption, whereas it is not having a capacity of transmission. Transmission is passing through it, whereas absorption is taking a part of it. Hope understood. Okay, and the other thing is reflection. If the light takes back its path from wherever it is hitting, either straight back path or by taking an angle, if it is coming back, it is called as refraction. And refraction, if it is on the other side, if it is making an angle, instead of going straight, if it is making an angle, and that is called as refraction. Okay, this is about common lens. There's a whether it is a concave or convex. In the other image, you can see this is a in electron microscopy. Electron microscopy will not be using the light. Instead of light, we'll be using the electrical beams in vacuum. You may ask, it is not done in normal gases or in air. In the presence of air, we should not do, because these electrons are having a potential to oxidize whatever the atoms and molecules are there in the air. So we are supposed to perform this in vacuum. So what we'll be doing, we'll be taking the electrodes, electromagnet, see, this electrical beam, it also works as a magnetic wave. It is having electromagnetic property. The wave of, like your light wave, even your electronic wave also is having an electromagnetic property. So what we'll do, we'll keep strong magnets. See here, these are the strong magnets. These two are strong magnets. This is a strong magnet. So in between these strong magnets, what happened? The light, whatever the electromagnetic electronic waves are there, they are localized. They are localized in between two magnetic rods, magnetic points. Okay, so you can see here, in case of this electron microscopy, it makes a concave lens, whereas in case of your normal kind of thing, it is a convex lenses. So this is the one thing that you should be aware. Second thing, some focus. There is a one point which is there for all the lenses, whether it is a concave, convex, or it is a electromagnetic created electron beam rays also. There will be a point called as focus. How do we determine the focus? How do we decide the focus? What is the focus actually? What it is called as focus? Actually, see here, whatever the refracted lens, the rays are there, they will be coming and they will be joining at one particular point, and this point is called as focus. How do you determine the focus of a lens? Any of you?
When any object is placed at infinite distance, the image is formed at the point that is called as focus.
Okay.
Half of the radius of curvature, sir.
Obviously, that is also fine, but radius of the curvature is not applicable. Generally, will not when it is lens ready to use, we cannot determine the radius of curvature. That can be easily determined in case of mirrors. Hope you understood. Okay, so anyhow, the easiest method is just focus your lens to the sunlight. The sun is located very far distance. So wherever the sun's image is created, that's the easy method I'm telling you. You must have practiced with candle in lab. That is a laboratory based experiment you must have done. But see, that also can be done. But a very easy experiment is just take the lens in your hand. There's a convex or convex lens. So just hold it in your hand and see that where the sun image is formed on the other side. Very simple, very easy. That point is, it's from the lens point, the distance in between the wherever the image is formed of the sun image, that we consider as a focus of that particular lens. And you must have done with your that candle experiments. That's very good. But this is very easy. That this is the thing that we practice. Something is for academics. Something is required for our learning also. This is for your learning. And this is ray diagrams. This will help you very easy to understand microscope. See, in case of convex mirror, if if the object is at infinity distance, you will be getting an image at focus point, isn't it? That is how we'll determine the focus value. Hope understood. All of you are following. Okay. And if the object is placed away from the focus point, like here, you can see here, the object is placed away from the focus point. So what happens here? You will be getting a magnified and there's an inverted image on the other side, isn't it? This is how the image is formed. In case of convex mirrors, in case of convex lenses, if you place the object away from the focal point or focus, then the image is created on the other side, which is the inverted and enlarged image. Is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If the object is placed at focus point, then the image is created at infinity distance. That is not required for us. Then this is generally, we will be using this principle for our objective piece. Objective micro. There are two lenses in microscope. One is objective lens, another one is ocular lens or eye lens. So this principle, when the object is placed just beyond the focus point, there is a focal length, then what happened? The image is inverted and magnified, and it is created in the opposite direction, opposite of the lens, isn't it? See here, it is kept your image. See, bacterial slide is kept over here, and the image of that particular bacteria will be created, inverted, and enlarged on the opposite direction. Its opposite direction is this one. This is how the image is created in your what?
Objective lens.
Okay, then this is how in case of concave, this happens in electron microscopy. In electron microscopy, what happens if you keep the object in between the focus and the lens? If you keep in between these two, see, then what happens here? The primary image will be formed away from the focus point. Primary image will be formed away from the focus point. This is in electron microscopy, that we'll discuss it later. And second point, see here, the first image is created, and this image will be working as a object for your eyepiece. So to the eyepiece, this is eyepiece. So what happens if the object is placed in between the lens and focus point, then what happened? You will be getting a enlarged and what happened? Straight image, and it is a straight and pseudo image. You will be getting a straight and pseudo image on the same direction. You will be getting a straight and a pseudo image on the same direction. This is what it happens in case of your eyepieces. And see, in case of your concave lenses, in case of your concave lenses, what happens if you keep whatever this magnified image is there, that will be magnified once again to create a larger image. Okay, anyhow, I will explain regarding the concaves later, because you may be getting confused. So first, let's finish with the convex and two lenses concept. Then we'll go into the compound microscope. Once we'll finish the compound microscope, we'll think about the electron microscopy. So these two things that you should be aware. In case of your objective piece, the object is kept above, beyond the focal point or focus length. So the image will be created, magnified and inverted image on the other side. And here, this other side image, whatever the image is created, it works as an object to the eyepiece or ocular piece. And here we will be arranging the eyepiece as such that whatever this image is created, that will be within the focal point of the eyepiece. And this eyepiece will be further magnifying this object. Actually, the first image is object for the second one. Now it will be created, as it is in between the focal length, and mirror. So what happens here? You will be getting a straight into a straight and magnified as well as pseudo image. This can be taken as a picture, but this cannot be taken a picture. This cannot be. You can see it on the with your eyes, but you cannot take the picture. But now by keeping two lenses, even this picture also can be taken out. Even the lenses what we got in our laboratory, they are of joint lenses like this one. They are of joint lenses. Like this is about individual lenses. Some like botany will be using dissection, not dissection microscope, as well as what are those microscopes? It is something we'll be using for cross sections. For this plant tissue, plant cuttings will be using. There will be using the single lens microscopes. Whereas in microbiology, we will be using two lenses. Two lenses, like combined lenses or complex lenses, will be using. Where instead of one convex lens, we'll be using two convex lenses here. Instead of one convex lens, we'll be using two convex lenses here. Here, the same thing, like two lenses will be used in eyepieces, and two lenses will be used in the objective pieces. The advantage of using two lenses will be, see, if two are there, what is the use of taking two? There are some aberrations, there are some errors of the lenses. Can you tell me what are those errors? Chromatic aberrations and spiral aberrations. What is chromatic aberrations and what is somatic aberrations? What is spiral aberrations and chromatic aberrations? What are those things? You must have studied it in your physics. Tell me. Somebody, Gautam. What is chromatic aberrations? What is circular aberrations? So to overcome these aberrations, we have special type of lenses, Huygens lenses. You must have studied about Huygens lenses, Ramsden lenses. Have you studied or not?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
No, sir.
Are
No, sir.
there in your physics? Huygens lenses, Ramsden lenses. Now, still I am teaching physics only, not in microbiology. See, I'll explain you. Anyhow, this aberration. See, sometimes what? Okay, anyhow, I will explain with the image. First, let me complete this convex part. See, this is how the microscope works. Initially, this is your objective piece, and this is your eyepieces, or objective lenses and this eye lenses. Oh, this is the focal length. 1 second. Yeah. Focal length will be somewhere here. So initially you are keeping away from the focal length. Image will be created. This is the first image. This is the first image which is created, and which is an inverted and magnified image, and which is created on the other side. Now this is a eye lens, and its focal length is FE. This is the one. FE is a focal length of eyepiece. Now, as it is there, this serves as a object for the second length. So it serves as a object. Now, what happens, as it is in between these two, it will be creating a magnified. See, this is a magnified and pseudo and same size. Like, see, it is head down, and here also head down is created. But when you compare with the first image, the final image is inverted. But mostly what we see in microbiology are round particles, or copy kind of thing. Even though they are inverted, we don't mind. We don't mind even though inverted. So it is not a big issue for us. So this is how what we see through the microscope. abbreviations, just hold on for the abbreviations. That is also there in the slide, because let me do something about microscopy first. And before going to the microscopy, once again, some this distances that you should be aware. Some this parameters you should be aware. What is the size of one bacteria, or the measurement sizes? Yes, sir. What is the unit of the distance, length, otherwise? Anybody? SI unit of length?
Millimeters.
No, it is meter. It is a meter. So meter is, you must be aware, how many centimeters must be there in that one? 100
100.
centimeters.
100 centimeters.
So just you remember these points, like 1 meter is SI unit of if 1000 meters are there, it is 1 kilometer. And if it is deci means 1 by 10, that is a 10 to the power of minus 1. 10 to the power of minus 1. See, we'll be using in blood sampling, CBP, when you see the blood reports per decimeter, means per 10 ml, these are the results, observations are there. And centimeters, that is 10 to the power of minus 2. 10 to the power of minus 2, that is 1 by 100. These, see, these values, are very important, you should remember. Okay, this is very important for you. Like in microbiology, generally we'll be using the micrometers or nanometers. So you should be aware about all these things. So 1 decimeter is 10 to the power of minus 1. There is a 1 minus 1 is minus 1. If you are writing after 1, you should put 1 0. Is it clear? 1 by 10. Okay, centi is 10 to the power of minus 2. There is a 1 by 100. And millimeter is 10 to the power of minus 3. And micrometer 10 to the power of minus 6. This is very often we use the word micro or microns. 1 micron is equal to 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. Okay, a nanometer is 10 to the power of minus 9. Okay, and there is a pico, femto afterwards. There is a picometers after nano, picometers are there. Then afterwards, femtometers. Okay, after every 3. But anyhow, I have given one more exercise for you that we'll see that part. Then again, wavelength of the radiation plays very important role for your microscopy. What is the normal wavelength of our visible light?
Four hundred to 700.
What is the wavelength of? Pardon?
400 to 700 nanometers.
400 to 700 nanometers. Okay. Yes. What do you mean by the wavelength, Gautam? In Anjali, I want the answer from different people. What is wavelength? See, the light is having the wave property. So the distance between two crests or troughs is called as wavelength. Okay, magnification. What is magnification? What is the magnification? The ratio between the object and the image. Sorry, the image by object. The ratio between the object, the image by the object is called as magnification. How much the size of image you got, and what is how much the size of the initial object is there, the ratio in between these two is called as magnification. The otherwise we can also say the distance between the lens and image by the distance between the lenses and the object is also called as magnification, V by U. Okay, that is magnification. And what is the resolution? Resolution, as I told you, I started my lesson session with resolution. The ability to clearly, the ability, see the distance in between 2 points. If you can hit these 2 points separately, that is called as resolution. Contrast, differentiating the object from its surroundings, or differentiating one part from the other part is called as contrast. Separating nucleus from the surrounding areas, that is called as contrast. Okay, we'll see further. See, this is about spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum of visible light. So it is around 400 to 700, but like various books, like somebody says 350 to 750, but whatever maybe it is. Will not go in detail because this is microbiology lesson. So visible light is having 400 to 700. What does this 400 mean? This is the wavelength. Wavelength is, see, the distance between this crests or troughs. See, the distance between these two crests or distance between the two troughs is called as wavelength. So see, you will be getting a VIBGR here. You will be getting a VIBGR. Violet color is having the least wavelength, and the red color is having the highest wavelength. VIBGR, how it stands. Okay. So when the light is passing through the lenses, see the light which is having the least wavelength is having high energy. It is having high energy, and it gets easily transmitted. And see that light which is having the highest wavelength, that is the red color, you mean to say, it will be having the less energy, but easily it gets absorbed by the lenses. So if the light is passing through what you call lenses, what happens here? A part of the light, visible light, is absorbed. A part of the light is absorbed, and so light is also a form of energy. So as the energy is absorbed by the lenses, a little amount of heat is generated there, but that will be very less. But if you are having high quantity of light, then what happens here? The energy released is going to be very high. And see, you will be having something called as UV light, X-rays, gamma rays, which are having at the lower end. Okay, UV light is just below the 350 to like it comes around 150, 180, and below that one you are having X-rays, gamma rays. As the wavelength gets reduced, its ability to magnify the objects gets increased. The ability to magnify gets increased. Generally, we don't use infrared. Infrared will be using in telescopes, but we don't be using in microscopes. Radio waves and other television waves will not be using in microscopy. This already we discussed about this property. So this refraction, when the light is passing from one medium to other medium, it shows the bending over there. That is called as refraction. And the other property, see, the light when the light which is coming through the one image, or sorry, object, it passes through the lenses, it creates a magnified lens. This already we discussed. And the sizes of actually it was there in that notations also, but this is a, see, the atom size is generally in the nanometer says 0.1 nanometers. Nowadays we are working with nanomaterials also, silver nanomaterials and different kind of copper nanomaterials we are working in our lab. So the measures their size, atom size is, nanomaterials are free elements actually. Sometimes like we are using with some nanomaterial iron oxide we are working. So that is in fact molecule which is having the around around 3 to 10 nanometers. So the atoms are in the range of 0.1 nanometers, and amino acids are in the range of 1 nanometers. And your DNA, the width of the DNA is 10 nanometers, and proteins, ribosomes, viruses are in the range of 10 to 100 nanometers. And bacteria, typical bacteria, E. coli bacteria, it measures around 1 micron, and mitochondria measures around 3 to 4 microns, and chloroplast 12 to 13 microns, and the RBC also measures around 9 to 11 microns. 8 microns is the accurate size actually. And protozoans, Euglena measures around 1 millimeter. So this 1 millimeter with your normal lenses. So there's a simple microscope, you can see this Euglena, whereas flies are in the range of 10 millimeters. You can see with your naked eyes. And there's a chicken eggs in 100 millimeters. That is a very large 10 centimeter. These are the different sizes that of cells. So the contrast, difference in the intensity between two objects or between an object and background. I told you, if you can differentiate between the nucleus and the surrounding of a cell, that is called as contrast. If something is not clear, you will say that if you cannot able to differentiate in between object and background or two components, then we call contrast is not clear. Please adjust the contrast. Okay, so this is contrast plays very important. Generally, if with magnification the contrast is lost, so we should have this contrast and resolution in order to get good and clear picture. So staining also helps here to increase the contrast. Staining is coloring. So if you are coloring the nucleus, otherwise if you are coloring the flagella, if the flagella is colored, then it can be easily differentiated from its background. Hope you understood. Now, types of microscopes. Microscopes are based on the background. We can differentiate into bright field microscopes and dark field microscopes. Bright field, so the entire field, whatever on which you are looking the bacteria or your microorganisms, is brighter or lighter. Okay, that's what this is called as bright field microscope. And in that one, the first category is simple microscope. That you must have seen this simple microscopes several times. Antony van Leeuwenhoek, whatever he has used, it is simple microscope. So the lenses, magnifying lenses, we call them. Otherwise, I don't know whether you have used them in your intermediate physics classes or not. But the lenses we use for determining of the quality of say the textiles that has been used by Antony van Leeuwenhoek, as well as for the lightning purpose also, for lightning or firing purpose also, like the sunlight is captured and energy is focused at one particular point, and we'll be using it to create a fire over there. That is also a simple lens. Basically it is a simple lens. And so here, like we have seen, simple microscopes works like this one. If you keep your object away from the lens, this focal point, then what happened? You will be creating a enlarged and inverted image on the other side. This is how simple microscope works. Anyhow, now we'll go into the compound microscope. Compound microscope. What do you mean by the compound microscope? Compound in the sense multiple. Compound, if you are using multiple lenses, if you are using for the magnification purpose, it is called as compound microscope. As I told you, we'll be using objective lenses or objective piece and eyepiece or ocular pieces. These two, these two are arranged in series. In fact, the current modern microscopes, we are using 4. There are 2 lenses in objective, there are 2 lenses in ocular. So if the lenses are arranged in series for the magnification, it is called as compound microscopes. Okay, so initially what happens, light passes through the objective lenses and it creates a magnified image. Hope you understood. Recollect whatever I told you in the beginning. It creates a magnified image, inverted magnified image on the other direction. Now what happens here, this whatever the image is created, it will be within the focus point, in between, like see, within the focus point of second lens, that is ocular lens. Now this in turn, now this ocular lens or eyepiece will create a enhanced image, further magnified image on the same direction. So overall, if you see from the ocular pieces, it appears like it is there on the same direction. So total magnification can be calculated by multiplying the objective lenses magnification plus the magnification of ocular lenses. Okay, and what happened? Somebody has come. Nikhil is joining now. Oh. Now we'll see the component and parts of microscopy. See, microscopes are binocular or monocular. This is a binocular, where if you are having two ocular pieces, it is called as binocular. It is monocular. If ocular piece is only one, it is called as monocular. And see, sometimes we'll be using electrical source for the light, so it is called as electrical monocular. So sometimes we'll be using normal light, so we'll not be using the word electrical. Okay, so we'll see the components of microscope. Either it is a monocular or binocular, the components are going to be the same thing. First, you'll be having a ocular lenses. These ocular lenses can be adjusted, and here in the ocular lenses, here the lenses are arranged. Generally 5x, 10x, 20x ocular lenses are available. Mostly all the labs will be equipped with the 10x ocular lenses. 10x in the sense it will be doing a magnification for 10 times. It is doing the magnification for 10 times. Okay, so in between these two there is an adjustable point, so that these two lenses can be adjusted. They can be moved here and there. Okay, and some cases what happened in this binocular, one ocular is fixed with the camera. It is fixed with the camera, so you can take the image by using one lens, and other lens you can see with your eyes. And these two lenses are fixed over the body. This is called as body. This is actually a body tube here. In case of this tube, tube is having, see, it is a hose, like it is a empty kind of thing. One side ocular piece is kept, and the other side a nose is attached. Over the nose, objective pieces are attached. It is a rotating nose. It is rotated, so you can choose whatever the objective piece of your choice is there. So they are of different types. I'll explain you later. So that is about body, and then after the body there is a arm. This is the arm, and see, this is the arm by which you are supposed to hold the microscope. You are supposed to, whenever you are carrying the microscope, with one hand you hold your arm, the microscope arm, and the second you should on second hand you should keep the base of your microscope. See, this is the base of microscope. So in one hand, most preferably left hand should take the base, and right hand you should hold the arm. This is how you are supposed to handle the microscope. So this is the arm, and this nose piece. See, I told you body tube is this hollow tube kind of thing, which is a fixed wavelength, fixed size actually. And on one side ocular lenses are attached, and on the other side you can say that the objectives are attached, but with the help of nose piece, not straightforward, because you need to change the objective pieces. Here objective pieces generally will be having three objective pieces. One is called as screening, second is called as magnifying, third is called as oil immersion. There are three objectives. One is screening. in microbiology lab, we'll be using 10x for the screening, whereas in botany, zoology, tissue culture labs, they will be using 4x, whereas 10x. 10x will help us where exactly our smear is there on the slide, where actually correct smear is there. And then after 10x, we'll be having the 40x. This is called as high magnification. We'll be able to see if fungi or plants or your section cuttings and even animal cells, that's quite enough. 40x is quite enough for observation. Whereas oil immersion is required. Oil immersion is called as 100x. 100x is called as oil immersion. That is required for observation of bacteria which are very small in size. Even by using the oil immersion, you can observe up to 0.1 micron size. Up to 0.1, very small sizes also can be observed through the. So 3 types of objective pieces will be using. So 10x in the sense 10 times it is multiplying or amplifying or magnifying. Magnifying is the best word. Then 40x, it is called as high magnifying lens. Then oil immersion is 100 times magnifying. So followed by see, this is the arm. Over the arm, a stage is attached. Over the stage, we'll be keeping the slides carrying your objects. And to fix the slide over it, you will be having the stage clips. These are the clips where you will be fixing them. And actually, there will be a meter also here, like your calipers, vernier calipers, you will be having a matrix also, which is called a stage meter, but it is not shown here. I don't know here also. Yeah, it is here. This particular one is called as meter, stage meter. It is called as. So once it is focused, you can take the reading of the stage meter and see if you want to report to your teacher so and so point good bacteria or something is there, you can say to your teacher or you can report those results. Okay. Then see, this stage is adjustable. It can be pushed down or it can be brought up. For this adjustment, you are having this chorus adjustment and fine adjustment. Chorus adjustment, as the term indicates, like it is a rough. If you are moving it rapidly, that stage will be moved. And fine adjustment, it will be moving very like gentle movement will be done with the help of the fine adjustment. Okay. And there is a diaphragm at the base of stage. See, there is a diaphragm at the base of this, and diaphragm, it is a movable. See, this is the clamp of diaphragm. If you are moving in the left direction, what happened? This diaphragm gets opened. The diaphragm gets opened, and if you are closing, if you are moving it towards the right direction, the diaphragm closes the hole over there. So it controls the light that is passing through the stage. Our stage is located on the object is located on the stage. So slide is kept over here. So this is the light source. So the light passing through it is controlled by the diaphragm. If this is kept open, more light will be passing. If it is closed, less amount of light or no light will be passing through it. So this is overall bright field microscope. See, the bright light is passing through it. Bright light, whatever the light is passing, see, there is a hole on the stage, so that light is directly coming in contact with the objects that are kept on the stage. Okay, these are the parts of microscope. So simple microscope, only one lens is there. Compound microscope, multiple lenses are there. In electron microscope, electron beams are there, and it is having a magnification of 3 lakhs. And this is already I have explained, but for your review, just have a look. See, this is our ocular lens. These are the chorus adjustment. This is the fine adjustment. This is your arm, which you are supposed to hold it with the right hand. This is the arm, and this is the This is the body of the tube, body tube, and this is the nose piece. Nose piece purpose is to choose multiple objective pieces are located and to choose the one which is required for our application. I told you objectives are three types: screening, high power, and the oil immersion. The stage where we'll keep the slides and the clips to fix the slides, and diaphragm to regulate the light that is passing through it. And the light source is a lamp or mirror. Sometimes olden microscopes only the mirror used to be there. There it is the concave mirror. It is a concave mirror. The base. So these are the parts. Just to recollect. So how you will see through the microscope? I told you it is an inverted image or it is a reversed image. You will not be able to see the straight image. As I told you, bacteria are generally round. Majority of the bacteria are round or rod shaped one. It does not matter for us whether it is inverted or round. But see, if you see the euglena, we'll be able to see head down like a flagella. Actually, it is upside, but in our slide, we'll see it down. And what is the importance of magnification? What is the importance of magnification? If more the magnification, clarity you will be able to see. See these two the images. See in the second image, 10x image, the nostrils are very clear, isn't it? And the eyeballs are also see the retina is also very clear in the second image. But what is visible in first image? There is a lot of component. Even neck is also visible in the first image. So the clarity can be obtained with high magnification, but more area can be covered with lower magnifications. And we can see the same thing here. See the blood image. This is the blood stained image. The first one you will be able to see a larger part, but here second one, little part with clarity you will be able to see. And these are the magnifications. See the first one is eyepiece. This is a eyepiece, and this is a objective piece. This is 40x. This is a high magnification length, and this is a 0.65 numerical apparatus. We'll see. We'll come to that one, numerical apparatus, and this is a 10x. So the total magnification we'll get in this combination is 40x into 10x. 40 into 10. How much it will become? Oh, it is 400. 400 times in particular this case. So you need to multiply the magnification in between these two, and there is a individual. If you want to magnify, if you want to calculate the magnification of individual lens, see somebody is provided to you objective piece or eyepiece. Some lens is provided to you. You are supposed to find out its magnification. Something is written over there, 10x or 40x, something is written, but you want to calculate. If you want to calculate, how you need to do? So this is the multiplying. This is the reverse image you will get. Oil immersion, I'll discuss. Okay. Do you permit me to complete this part? Already it is 10. Okay, let me complete this and I'll finish. The rest of the things I will do in the next class. So, see, I told you there are three types of objective lenses, objective pieces. They are called as screening or low magnification, high magnification, and oil immersion. Whenever you are doing, see, its magnification is very high. It is 100 magnification. and whenever the high magnification is there, its focal value gets reduced. As the magnification increases, the thickness of the lenses gets increased. The thickness of the lenses gets increased, so its focal length value gets reduced. As the magnification increases, this is the basic of physics again. As the wavelength 10x, 40x, 100x, as the magnification increases, the thickness of the lenses increases, then the focal point gets reduced. As the focal point gets reduced, so what happened? The area that you need to keep, the slide that you need to keep from that objects gets reduced. It gets reduced. See, generally, in case of your 10x, if you are using the screening microscope, you can use I think few centimeters. With 40x, you are supposed to keep around few millimeters, whereas in oil immersion, you are supposed to keep 1 or 2 millimeters only, because focal length gets reduced here. So as the focal length gets reduced, what happened? Whenever you are keeping an object, as this distance, this point is reduced, whatever the rays that are created from the object, because here the bacteria is kept here. So what happened? Few of the lights, few of the rays, they get refracted, because only few rays are being created, because we are keeping in 1 to 2 millimeter distance. We are not keeping in very large distance. We are keeping 1 to 2 millimeter distance, so the light coming in that area is very less. Even from that light, what happened here? Because of refractive index is very less in case of your air, it gets refracted, and these lights are going away there. So if you add the oil over there, so the refractive index of oil, generally it is mineral oil, it is a 1.5, whereas for the glass 2 refractive index, so it is almost near. Whereas in case of your air, it is something 0. So it is nearby to your lenses. So what happens? Instead of refracting, the more and more amount of light will be passed through the lenses. So what happens here? The light, which is very meager light that is coming at oil immersion, that is 100x, that is also captured into the lenses. Anyhow, you will be able to understand well when you do the experiment, this part. Anyhow, in the next class, I will explain this again. Okay, because microscopy, if you are very good at first semester, if you are good at microscopy and staining and sterilization, that is quite enough. So this is very important concept. I'll explain you once again. Okay, if you don't have any class, let me know. I will take this remaining part of microscope. See, I try to give you the basics more. If you are very good at basics, then see the concept, if you are clear with the concept, rest of the things is very easy for you.